Hey guys, Akio Murasek here. Today I want to talk about the Streamer Awards. Yes, about the Streamer Awards, about the show that has taken place, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago, and more specifically about the Best VTuber Award and what VTubing really is, at least for me personally, and how it's seen by people who actually engage with the medium and understand it a little better. But first, the Streamer Awards show, I've watched quite a bit of it. I haven't seen the whole thing. I haven't seen the whole 3 hours, I think 30 minutes or so. I haven't. I have seen maybe an hour of it. And I have to say, it was the biggest Cringefest I have seen recently. One of the reasons why I don't exactly watch kind of mainstream streamers, regular streamers, is that I find the majority of them not very funny. I don't think being loud and obnoxious and or committing crimes in real life, as some of the live streamers do, is actually worth watching. I would honestly rather watch VTubers. I would watch someone from, I don't know, Hololive or Nijisanji, or one of the indie VTubers, even from the English VTubing scene, rather than watching someone being loud, being violent, and committing crimes in real life. Like, honestly. But that is basically my take. Let's see some of the clips from the Streamer Awards show, so to give you a taste of what I mean specifically for those of you who also have not seen the show at all. One recurring theme in the entire show is that basically every single criticism that people have leveraged online when it comes to Twitch as a platform, what kind of problems it has, and what kind of streamers it tries to promote and host, all of this has been turned into one silly joke at the awards show. Yes. All of the creepiness, all of the essaying going on, all of the really bad blood between the creators, all of this is apparently now a haha, hehe, let's all have fun together moment, yes. And it started with QTCinderella here hosting the show, of course, talking about Dan Clancy and his interesting attitude towards streamers.
Dan Clancy is here, which is really nice because I kind of see Dan as a father figure.
Oh, that's nice.
And just like my real dad, he spends way too much time online hitting on my friends.
And that is not so nice. Wow.
Sorry.
Now, that would have been actually funny if that was only rumors, but I'm assuming even, I'm afraid there might be some truth to this, and it's not just rumors. Yeah, we've seen several clips, as in I've seen, many other people have seen several clips of Dan Clancy behaving inappropriately. And especially, you know, the channels, the creators he subscribed to, as he was showcasing at some point some of the new Twitch features. Sorry, but it's extremely creepy, and especially all of the stuff that's been going on around Twitch, around TwitchCon this year. This was very inappropriate. But of course, the inappropriate just continues. It just keeps getting worse. We have Fan here trying to fan the flames by talking to some of the creators who were apparently left speechless. I was actually surprised how very few of the creators were able to come up with a joke, with a witty response on the spot. Essentially no one. But yeah, we have Fan here is steering trouble.
This year, as everyone knows, you broke the record for the most expensive haircut and the least educational university. So congratulations to you. Oh,
and I can tell straight away he did not appreciate that comment. I've been told that apparently this is Fan's brand of humor. But to me, it's really not funny. She is just walking around and insulting people.
And also, congrats on your new documentary with 50 Cent. That was you, right?
Yeah, people are livid.
If you all gonna be on the mic, now turn this shit on. If you all gonna be on the mic making jokes, at least let it be funny.
There we go. Now this is a good
At
response.
least let it be funny.
I thought it was
Have a good night.
Oh well. Well then, Fan continues. And there's of course more, because why wouldn't there be? There's this very, very entertaining clip of Hasan talking to one of his fans, and also a fellow creator, of course.
You do it in a more like PG-13 kind of way.
In a friendly troll way, Hasan, bro. You know me, bro. We went to parties together. You know what I'm saying? We've been places.
You keep it up, I'm gonna put the collar on you.
I knew it was coming, man. That's the clip right there. Hey,
You do it.
Yes, of course, because animal abuse is such a funny topic. Oh my god, I am laughing my butt off right now. Of course I am. But the other thing, did you notice what Hasan is wearing here? No? Okay, here's a close-up. Here's some more actually of him. This is a beautiful uniform, isn't it? You know what it reminds me of? My god, I think I've seen it in some of the archival pictures. Oh wait, I've seen this picture a while back. Oh wow, isn't that... Oh my god, but it is Mao Zedong, Chinese Communist revolutionary and leader. Oh my gosh, golly. Have you seen that man before? No? I find it incredibly fascinating that this passes as being actually politically correct at this award show. I'm just gonna explain it to people who are a little not familiar with history. I'm assuming there's quite a bit, including the people at the award show. Him wearing this is basically the same as him dressing up in a Nazi uniform or straight up dressing up as Hitler. And talking about it non-ironically, because of course he did. Because you might not know, a little spoiler alert here, you might not notice Hasan is at a very Chinese point in his life. Yes, incredible, isn't it? He takes the supreme leader as his absolute idol. That's his Oshi, as we would say in the VTuber community. I am absolutely speechless. Let's just move on to the actual VTuber award. So yes, we have the Burnt Peanut, who apparently is a VTuber. For me, who has been watching VTubers for several years now and is quite familiar with what VTubers are, this is a literally who. I've never heard of the Burnt Peanut, and as far as I know at least, he's more of an actual streamer using, well, nowadays is more of a model. His Peanut model has several costumes as well. So he's not technically just using a face filter, but still, he's not really a part of the VTuber community. He doesn't like to be called a VTuber. He doesn't like to be associated with VTubers. And his own community is not very fond of VTubers, as has become the case recently, as I saw a lot of comments blowing up on Twitter especially. And that, you know, made me think a little bit, what really is VTubing, right? Because there's been tons of comments. And also what I want to point out here, I'm very disappointed with a number of VTubers who, instead of actually being a little more critical, a little more aligned with the VTuber community, decided to be more, should I say, normie aligned, and did actually congratulate Peanut for winning this war. We have here Iron Mouse, Let's Go PTuber, we have Mori Calliope, shocking, Alana as well, Chibi, and I don't know, Alien Mixture who that is, I've also never heard of Giri. But we have all of these EN VTubers, most of them in the indie scene, somehow congratulating this victory, even though it's very, very, very clear that the community of Peanut and the community aligned with Peanut is not very fond of VTubers. It doesn't want to be associated with VTubers, because there's been a lot of criticism. On one hand, they want to say, wow, this is great. Of course, Peanut is a VTuber. He's using a model. He's a virtual personality, a virtual YouTuber. So that perfectly qualifies as being a VTuber. But on the other hand, they do like to criticize, using some very weird and extreme examples, what VTubing in itself is about. And I find it very disappointing how a lot of these big name English, indie, and in the case of Mori is also Hololive VTubers, are somehow aligning more with the non-VTubing, with the regular streaming side, because you're basically justifying all of the criticism that actual VTubers are getting. And just to kind of go a little bit into this whole what VTubing is and what VTubing is not, there's been quite some, for instance, Iron Mouse got quite some criticism, but that's not exactly what I want to talk about. I want to talk about a little bit about this comment here from Angelo. Kason, for instance. Kason shows her face most of the time, yet people still consider her a VTuber. I think it's a fantastic point, whether Kason is or is not a VTuber. And initially Kason has been, as of course not Kason, but she has been originally a VTuber for Hololive. She has graduated and since then has been an actual streamer as well. Also as Kason the actual streamer. But she's also been a Kason VTuber, and here we're talking specifically about this Kason. That she is, yes, she's a veteran Japanese VTuber, veteran of Nico Nico. This is the Japanese video website that some of you might know, some of you might not know. I'm not super familiar with it. I've actually never used it, but it's very, very popular in Japan. And she has been, I'm not going to bring it up here, she has been previously a different VTuber for Hololive, is now a VTuber for VShoujo, I think. I'm still not entirely sure, could also be an independent right now. I don't remember exactly what the situation is with Kason, but the Kason here is Kason the VTuber. And then of course when Kason does, when she hosts shows or does any kind of award shows, then she's Kason the regular person. So yeah, there's a very clear distinction between her being a VTuber, her not being a VTuber. I hope that part is somewhat clear. But when it comes to VTubing in general, I think one of the comments here perfectly illustrates where I think there's a bit of a difference from the stories. That VTubing is tied to anime culture and models and also to idol culture, and just saying it's a virtual talent is not exactly the same. I think I do strongly agree with this, although I have to stipulate a little bit, because I know that even in the Japanese VTubing scene, there's quite a lot of indie VTubers who technically would not classify as VTubers. Like one that's actually being brought up here at the very bottom. We have a gorilla person that is still a VTuber. Yes, they're an actual VTuber. Even though they're using like a fairly simple gorilla avatar, that still qualifies as VTubing. I've seen Churs, I've seen Polar Bears VTubing, that still technically qualifies as VTubing. But when someone says VTubing, they usually mean kind of the idol culture side of VTubing. They mean Hololive, they mean Nijisanji, they mean also on the English side Face Connect, for instance. They mean a lot of indies. I could just be naming, dropping names here. I would run out of paper. But that's basically what people mean when they say VTubing. They mean the idol culture side of things. They mean singing, they mean streaming, making jokes, embodying the actual character, much less than you know, just being a regular person using, I don't know, like a funny Peanut avatar. And also the thing with Peanut himself is that he claims he doesn't really want to be associated with VTubers, as I mentioned. And also his brand of humor is way more aligned with regular streamers, with, you know, with what's it called, flash tubers, with streamers that show their faces, who stream with their real bodies. He's really more aligned with this, and in that sense, I've seen a couple of clips being shared and being considered funny. I personally did not find them funny at all. And even though people do seem, I'm gonna branch off a little bit and go on a tangent here, but the thing is that even like in both streaming but also in VTubing, that is true, there's a lot of smaller communities. So for instance, on the English side, a lot of people are familiar with Iron Mouse, and people consider her a big name in the English VTubing scene. And while it's true that as an indie VTuber, she's definitely a really big name, but in terms of size and reach, and also I would say a little bit content, the type of content, she kind of pales in comparison to other big name VTubers, for instance from Hololive, also on the English side, simply because they have also, this is not any fault of her own, I do have enormous respect towards Iron Mouse, and I think ironically her journey is that of an actual VTuber, how she was combating her personal situation, her health situation, is that which perfectly aligns with what VTubing stands for. However, when people, think of on the English side of VTubing, they think Iron Mouse, they think more of the indie scene, I would say. And people who follow actual VTubing in itself, so are less kind of normie aligned, are less interested in regular streaming itself, they are familiar with Mori Calliope, for instance. They're familiar with Mume. They're familiar with Gaurgura, for instance, who is now Saba and is a way, way, way bigger name in VTubing itself than any of the kind of indie VTubers would ever be. That's simply the reality of it. And people who would, for instance, call, Iron Mouse, that she's the queen of VTubing, they're simply very often not familiar with the actual kind of idol style VTubers. And I personally prefer the actual VTubing style of VTubing, and also these content creators, also especially I would say on the Japanese side, quite a lot of them in Niji-sanju that I like watching. For instance, Kinomito, who is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to content, when it comes to the type of jokes she keeps on cracking. Basically every single clip of her is a joke. It's the type of fourth wall and fifth wall breaking that you might expect, for instance, from Heaven Burns Red, the enormous otaku culture inside jokes. But I think stuff like this might be more appealing to people who, again, as the person here points out, sorry, not here, trying to find the clip, my bad. This one here, yes, my apologies. As Deslaris here points out, it's more aligned with anime culture, and anime and weeb culture in general, and otaku culture. This is the kind of VTubing I'm more fond of, I would say. But that's basically it from my side. As I said, I do not like regular streaming. I don't have much respect for the Streamer Awards show. I think it was an absolute cringe fest. That's basically, I'm not sure what else I can say here other than it is a sheer disappointment. And I don't see myself watching any of the regular streamers, primarily because of this as well. But yeah, that's basically from my side. If you find my content bearable, please like and subscribe. And I see you guys in one of my other regular videos. Yeah, that's it from my side. Mata ne!